What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another highly combustible reaction. We're jumping into something. You're not where you think you are. Kurzgesagt in a nutshell. Kurzgesagt in a nutshell. Get over, show some love for sure. The link's inside of the description. I don't know what we're getting into, but you wanted it. We're here with it. Let's find out where we really are.
Look around you. Where are you? Where is this place you're occupying? Somewhere in a room, maybe in a city, on a continent, on a planet orbiting a star in a galaxy among billions.
Yes.
But where is all of that? While this may feel like a daft question, it turns out that the concept of an absolute position is something humans made up.
Because we don't know
where we're at. In a nutshell, the universe is a big bag of space that has things in it. If someone removed all these things, the stars and planets and black holes and dust, there would just be empty space left. In empty space, the concept of having a position loses all meaning.
I honestly think this is going to be very, very intriguing already. We're only 40 seconds in, but people underestimate how big this thing is that we call the universe. People really, really do underestimate it like crazy. A lot of people don't even think about it. We're really just a speck of dust on a speck of dust. It's crazy. There's no end. We don't know where the walls are at, if there's any walls ever. That's why anything is possible.
Empty space is uniform, the same everywhere. The space we occupy is not like a stage under our feet. We can't mark specific points or staple something to space-time as an anchor. Without things, there is no position. True. We are really ever only at a position in relation to something else. Which also means that things we take for granted, like up and down, are actually relative too. Okay, let's fill the universe up with things again and try to find out where you are right now, relative to everything else.
Holy hell, that was a wicked intro.
Let's start this video at a familiar place and then get increasingly weird. From your perspective, the world is seemingly flat and you can move in 3 dimensions. It's what physicists call a frame of reference, the perspective you have of the universe and how you see things moving around you, where your up and down is. Your frame of reference is correct for you, but not for the rest of the universe. Around 5 kilometers from you, where the horizon begins, the ground noticeably curves away from you. If you could see through the ground, you'd see people from below or sideways. But they don't fall down off the planet because gravity doesn't actually pull them down. Down is an illusion of your reference frame. To Earth's reference frame, gravity just pulls in. But for humans there is an up and down because within our frame of reference that just makes sense. Which is also why we think that the planet itself has an up and down, north and south, and we made our maps accordingly. But an observer looking at the solar system might disagree.
They might disagree.
Our maps make sense to us because we're used to them, not because they are correct. Okay, so this is step 1. Your position on what feels like a flat surface but is actually a sphere. But this sphere is always moving, never staying in one position.
But you never know that.
Earth is orbiting a star, the Sun, at the center of the solar system. While we usually imagine this as pretty orderly, someone looking at us from the outside would see something pretty messy. To see this more clearly, we'll exaggerate all these movements. This is not to scale. First of all, our orbit really is an ellipse, so we spend half the year sinking a little bit closer to the Sun, speeding up, and half the year rising up a bit and slowing down. And the ellipse itself changes its shape every 100,000 years too. And in another cycle of 112,000 years, the ellipse itself is drifting, which at least creates a beautiful shape. In the end, we get an orbital path that looks like a wobbly circle with wavy edges. And it gets worse as the moon now starts to mess things up too.
My mind's seriously already blown. These are things that nobody thinks about. I don't think about this. I think about what I see in my little box.
As the moon is a pretty massive thing, it pulls on Earth. Both objects orbit their common center of gravity that lies around 4,700 kilometers off to the side of Earth's core. In practice, this means that as the moon orbits Earth, it's jerking Earth around a bit, enough to make it jiggle. Okay, so you're standing on the surface of a rotating planet that is jiggling around the Sun in an elliptical orbit that changes a bit every year. But who's to say the Earth is right? From the perspective of the Sun, the plane of the solar system is arbitrary. It's defined as the plane the Earth orbits in because that is convenient for us. In reality, the other planets are just a little bit inclined with respect to our plane. From their point of view, we're the ones with a slightly bent orbit. But this isn't it, far from it. The solar system as a whole is orbiting the center of the Milky Way galaxy. If we look at the Milky Way, we can clearly make out a galactic plane in which the solar system orbits the center every 230 million years. But of course, it's not that simple. First of all, the plane of the solar system is not aligned with the plane of the galaxy. Nothing really is. Just like the planets in the solar system orbit the Sun on their own planes, so do all the stars orbiting the galactic center. The solar system as a whole is tilted about 60 degrees towards the galactic plane, speeding through space at almost 1,000,000 kilometers per hour. Someone in the center of the galaxy would see the orbits of the planets moving through space in a helix shape, which you can imagine as a corkscrew motion on the tilted plane of the solar system relative to the plane of the galaxy. This orientation in space means that sometimes the planets are sort of in front of the Sun as it orbits around the galactic core. Let's just look at this for a moment. There is a strange and eerie beauty about how our planets and the Sun move through space. Do you feel a bit dizzy? It gets worse. This is still not the whole story, because the mass of the galactic disk is constantly pulling on the solar system too. Like a drunk dolphin, we're diving down and shooting up hundreds of light years through the galactic plane 10 times every orbit along arcs thousands of light years long. We haven't mapped this motion out completely, as it takes the solar system tens of millions of years to go up and back once, and well, humanity is not that old.
We really have only been here for a blink of like a blink of an eye in the grand scheme of things. Humanity's only been here for like that's how long we've been here. It's crazy. The whole thing when you start sitting down, that's why I could never ever be a scientist that has to deal with this stuff, because I would be falling too deep into it. I would get obsessed. It would be one of these like, a bad hobby to have, a bad career path for me, because there's too much to think about. When you think about this, nothing is impossible. Literally nothing. Like there could be other us's out there. Multiple other us's in other dimensions and other, holy hell, other galaxies, we already know that these galaxies exist, billions of them. And in there's planets and stuff. That's why I think it's crazy for anybody who thinks that we're the only people in all of existence. The only creatures blessed with life are on this planet. I can't believe that. I can't even fathom that would be the truth. There's way too much out there that we haven't explored.
Again, on a planet tilted towards the Sun, jiggled around by the Moon, in a solar system tilted towards the galactic plane, moving forward in a helical shape, diving up and down through the plane. But where is up in a galaxy? At this point, the frame of reference becomes a bit arbitrary and pointless because of the nature of the universe at this scale. The Milky Way is part of a galaxy group that appears to be part of greater structures like the Laniakea supercluster, which itself is part of the gigantic Pisces-Cetus supercluster complex, and finally a galactic filament that spans hundreds of millions of light years in all directions and orientations. Someone looking right at us from that far away will only see the end of greatness. All stuff appears homogeneous, the same everywhere. Just like with empty space, when everything looks the same, who's to say anyone's view is better than anyone else's?
Yeah.
We've reached the end of our little exercise in cosmic humility. Let's make the journey backwards again, from the indescribably large to the really large to our galactic home, to our galaxy, to the solar system diving up and down through the Milky Way, to the jiggle of existence, and finally, back to you right now, watching this video. If this is all a bit much, don't feel bad. The scale of the universe is brain-crushing, and trying to keep track of how everything is oriented or decide where the best up and down is hard. But it doesn't really matter, because it doesn't change where you are. You're already in the best spot you possibly could be, right here, right now. For all you care, nothing can stop you from being right at the center of your own little universe. Perspective really is everything. That's true for the universe we all inhabit, but even more so within your personal universe. The way your life will unfold also depends on what you consider possible.
The way your life will unfold is also depends on what you consider possible. Seriously, anything out there is, if you put your mind to it, if you think you can do it, you're gonna get it done. You're gonna get there. You're gonna reach that level. You're gonna do whatever it is that you're trying to do. But there's too many people that doubt themselves, or they doubt the possibility of things. When you look at a damn galactic scale, like this giant, enormous, gargantuan universe, how can you say that anything that we have to do right here on Earth is impossible?
Like us at Kurzgesagt, our passion is to spark curiosity for science and make videos for free. But this is not a great business model, so we began to create our own lines of science posters, calendars and fun Kurzgesagt merch, pieces of Kurzgesagt that you can take home and touch. And we're doing this with Shopify, who were also so kind as to sponsor this video, which delighted us because we've been using their platform for years now. Shopify is an e-commerce platform that allows you to start and grow your business. And by starting a business, we really do mean from scratch. If you want to sell your handmade ceramic mugs out of your bedroom today, you can. But not just that, if you want to scale your one-man show to a sizable team, then Shopify has the tools to support you on your journey. Now, you just have to get started. Go to shopify.com/Kurzgesagt to get a free 14-day trial. If you think that this idea doesn't apply to you and your ideas are too small, we want to encourage you to think again. The first video on this channel was a university project, and Kurzgesagt itself was a creative outlet. Eventually, we grew into a business and the team that is making videos for you today. And all of that just because we wanted to try out something new. This is exactly the sort of thing that Shopify is determined to support, and you can build your own thing with it. After all, whether your idea is still just a dream or might turn into a plan today is also just a matter of perspective. Millions of businesses in over 175 countries are currently using Shopify to sell their products, and we are one of them. Thanks to them for helping us get here, and thanks to all of you for making our channel possible.
That was seriously probably the best Shopify ad that I've ever seen in a video. That one held my attention. It gave you a spark of insight. It gave you some motivation. Definitely get over show Kurzgesagt, all the love in the world. We already subbed up. We've already smashed the like button. Those 4.4 thousand dislikers probably just didn't realize how big the universe actually was. If you enjoyed it though, smash the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. Let me know what it made you think of. Did it make you feel a little bit inadequate? A little bit humbled? Until the next one, I'm Combustible. You guys be happy, healthy, safe. Love you to the moon and back. Peace.